So you're thinking of what motherboard to get, aren't you? In this video, we will discuss what you need to know when you are choosing a motherboard. Motherboards come in all different sizes. Main ones are being ATX, Micro ATX, and Mini ITX. Your case is what's going to limit the size of your motherboard and your budget, depending on how much you're going to spend. Smaller fits in larger, larger doesn't fit in smaller. So you can get a Mini ITX and put it into an ATX case. You cannot put an ATX board in a Micro ATX. It won't fit. Mini ITX boards are very limited for upgrades and workspace. They're usually for small form factor builds. They have very limited features such as one PCI slot. Micro ATX is more like the middle ground. It offers more features such as having decent amount of PCI slots and more RAM slots. You're going to have 4 RAM slots on the Micro ATX. ATX has a lot of features that the manufacturer puts on them to make them more competitive on the market. They have 5 PCI slots, more fan headers, more connectors, for example USB connectors and SATA ports. What I'm basically saying, the more you level up, the more it offers. Each time you go smaller, it will just keep limiting what it offers. The larger you go, the more it offers. But again, bigger is not always better. You can also go for Micro ATX if it meets your needs, or you can go for Mini ITX if it meets your needs. Motherboards either support Intel or AMD. Intel is for LGA boards, the one with the scary pins in the socket, usually known as LGA socket. AMD is the one with the golden pins underneath the CPU, usually known as AM socket. They also have different chipsets. The chipset will determine the RAM frequency supported and overclocking support. You need a Z series chipset for overclocking on Intel side, and also determines what CPU it will support. The socket and the chipset both factor when choosing a CPU or choosing a motherboard when you already have a CPU. On AMD side, anything with an X and a B, nothing with a B300 or A series, you're all good for overclocking. A is not usually good for overclocking, even though all AMD chips are overclockable. The chips doesn't determine the supported CPU, the socket does for AMD. Remember, if you're going Intel, make sure your CPU is compatible to the chipset and socket. If you're going AMD, make sure it is compatible to the socket. Motherboards can be seen as low-end and high-end. Low-end motherboards support nearly to nothing for overclocking. Mid-range has okay support for overclocking. There's some thermal dissipation, usually for the average gamer. High-end is for the enthusiast, those who are going to push their machines to the very best. That's all for this video. Hope you enjoy. If we missed something, leave it in the comment section. We wanted to make this as simple and detailed as possible. We did our best. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe to see more videos like this one.